If you haven't yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, don't do anything else until you've done that. Hit that subscribe button. And after watching this lesson, please remember to leave some comments, leave some nice things to say about the lesson, or some questions, or some complaints saying, hey, I couldn't see your foot or your hand or whatever. Please do it from a different angle. Whatever it is that you want to watch, please leave those comments on here. Good morning, everybody. It's David-Dorian Ross, and this is day 2 of the 100 Days of Tai Chi. And today we're going to learn about 4 parts of seizing the sparrow's tail. Now, this movement, seizing the sparrow's tail, is characteristic movement of Yang style. And right away, we're going to start off with a fairly complex movement that has 4 parts. Now, let me demonstrate it to you one time, and then we're going to break it down together. So if you recall from yesterday's lesson, we have just finished the first movement, or maybe you can count it as the second movement, which is ward off to the left. Right? Four parts, seizing the sparrow's tail. Now, we've done the first movement already, because the first movement in the first part of seizing the sparrow's tail is called ward off. And we've already done a version of ward off with our second movement, ward off to the left. But remember I said that ward off to the left is a kind of an odd body position, because although I'm in a lunge here, the Tai Chi lunge known as the bow and arrow step, I've actually turned my body to face sideways. This is the first movement. This is ward off left. Now, ward off to the right goes back to a more standard kind of body position, which is stepping forward into a lunge and facing forward over that lunge. I am almost, but not quite fully squared up over that hip. There's still a little bit of an opening here, and I'll show you why in a second. Let's just do the footwork of these 4 parts, and then we'll come back and we'll add the hand and body techniques afterwards, all right? So, from the end of the first movement here, ward off left, I first sit back so that I can take the weight off of my front foot. This will allow me to turn those toes in to about 45 degrees. Shifting back to the left foot, my right foot's going to step forward, tracking into a new lunge position, and shift forward into that lunge. When I finish that lunge, the weight is distributed 60% over the front foot, 40% over the back foot. Now, I've already said that this back foot has readjusted to 45 degrees. The front foot's forward, straight ahead. Right now, so that's a lot of information, but that's going to kind of get you to the entire foot position change of this, even though it's a 4-part movement. That's really the basic footwork right there, just stepping into that lunge. Because once we're in this lunge, I don't step anywhere, I just do different body positions, right? So leaving myself in this lunge, the second movement, I'll sit back. There's some body motion. Then the third movement, I shift forward into my lunge again. And in the 4th part, I sit back and then shift forward to my lunge again. See, very convenient. It doesn't go anywhere. Once you've made that first step, you just stay in that position. Here it is from the back, so that you can see the changes there. So if you were following me in class, this is the change that you'd be making. First, sit back so that you can turn that left toes forward. Sit back over the left foot, and the right foot steps forward to create a lunge. From here, part 2 of seizing the sparrow's tail, sit back. Part 3, lunge forward. Part 4, sit back, and then lunge forward. Hope you got all that, but that's all right. That's what videos are for. You can replay it. You can rewind it and do it again. All right, here is the hands that goes along with it. So ward off, if you remember from last lesson, is the energy of expansion, right? The word that we use to translate into ward off or push away is pung, which means to sort of expand, expand, expand. So it's like you're holding a beach ball or something in the crook of your arm, and it's getting bigger, 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 and it's pushing out here. So I've just done that to the left. Now I'm going to do it to the right. So from my final position of ward off left here, I sit back, turn those toes in, my hands are still floating, back to the left foot, and the right hand scoops under and rises. Now here we have a position where I'm in this expanding out, blowing up kind of position with one arm, and the other arm, the fingers are almost right here at the wrist. Like the character of this Chinese word, pang, is like a little bird's foot, just very daintily, tiny little fingers pushing against the hand here, right? So I have just come from here, shift back, turn those toes in, step up and expand, 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 expand. That's number one, ward off to the right. Now movement number two, I'm going to take both hands and turn them to face each other, right? Actually, I'm turn them side by side, like I'm gonna clap a little bit. Now they're offset, so the left hand is a little bit behind the right hand, but they're facing each other like they're about to applaud. A beautiful Tai Chi performance there. And so I'm going to go from here, and I will rotate slightly into the right corner while my hands are spiraling into that clapping position. That's the preparation for movement number two, which is called roll back. Lu, roll back, yielding, letting go, letting pass by you. So I sit back to my back foot here and let the energy roll past me like water under the bridge, right? It's just that simple. That's number two. Number three, I'm going to square up again, and as I do so, the left hand will fold into the right forearm, right? Just fold right into the right forearm here, and then shift directly forward. Now this is called press or squeeze, or what I think is a better translation, to pierce, to go into a small space just directly, right? So I directly go straight forward with my pierce. That's number three. And then number four is called pushing. I separate the hands. The two hands slide over each other to separate. Shift back and let the hands pull in. They drop down a little bit, just kind of like going over a curve right there. And then shifting forward, I let my body do the pushing. Notice that at the end of the position here, there is a curvature in my arms here, right? So it's not straight out. They're rounded as I shift forward. All right, now one more time, let me walk us through that, and then I'm going to turn around and do it from the other side here. So I'm starting from the end of ward off left. Sit back, turn those toes in. Scoop under as you step forward, ward off right. Turn into the corner, turning your palms as well, then sit back and let the water just slide past you. Square it up again, folding up the hands and squeeze straight forward. Slide the hands apart, withdraw, and push. And that's the four parts of seizing the sparrow's tail. Let me do it one more time from the back view here. So as if you were following me in class, we'll get all of the parts coordinated and on the right foot. So left foot is forward. There's ward off to the left. You're right now looking towards the right side here. Sit on back, body turn. Scoop under, step forward, and ward off. Turn to the corner a little bit, spiraling your hands, and sit back and let the energy just slide past you. Turn back and tighten it on up. Squeeze straight ahead. Slide the hands apart. Withdraw. And push. Beautiful. And that's the 4 parts. All right. So that's today's lesson. Tomorrow we'll go on and learn another lesson in the series. It'll be day 3 of 100 Days of Tai Chi. Once again, if you've done Tai Chi before, or if you're looking at these movements, or if you're comparing them to other DVDs or other videos, which is awesome, by the way, do a lot of research here, and you notice that, oh gosh, but he didn't talk about this, he didn't talk about that. The way that I teach is to teach in layers. Of course, there's a million things to say about every different movement, but it just makes your head blow up and encourages the monkey mind instead of just letting the mind focus on one simple little piece. We got all the time in the world to add more later. All right? So once again, thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you again. Please leave those comments down below there, and come on over to my website sometimes if you want to take classes in person with me. That's at taijifit.net. But wherever you go and whenever I get a chance to see you again, thank you so much for being here. I love you very much. Peace.